You, listen, you're drowning. Panic. Get your brain around this one. I don't like people who bottle out. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to this week's second explosive edition of The Apprentice. It's our wearable technology special. Would you go out in public in a pair of glasses that look like this? Yes, that's not the big story, however. As we discover tonight, in this new era, when £250,000 is on offer, when it comes to job security, boom, all bets are off. Lord Sugar will fire you at any time, even when you least expect it.
Tell you what I do need, someone to iron my shirt. I can't iron, mate.
You're fired.
Some satisfaction is out paid.
You missed a spot over there, guys.
Come on, get that.
You're fired.
I haven't seen the cups.
You're fired.
We'll be meeting both our fired candidates, including the one whose head must still be spinning. But now let's meet tonight's panel. Technology Supremo Daniel Hirschman, Lord Sugar's aide Karen, now Baroness Brady, and comedian Josh Widdicombe. Welcome to your fire. So, tonight's task of creating an item of wearable technology led to an apprentice first when it comes to firing.
I get the funny feeling we're going to get finger pointing at Robert. So I'm going to make that much easier for everyone. Robert, I don't like people who bottle out. So Robert, you're fired. I don't want to mess about. This kind of dead wood is out as soon as possible.
Please welcome Robert Goodwin. Robert, when he said, I know a lot of fingers are going to point at Robert, and did you, part of you go, oh, nice, he's going to let me off the hook for this one, isn't he?
There was a side of me that thought, I've got away with this, I'm going to go home now, he's going to send me back home straight away.
But you can't have been expecting what happened.
No, but there was a genuine thought that was, is he going to send me back? Because everyone's going to be drilling into me. And it kind of works out the other way, really.
Honestly, he's the first candidate ever to be fired without even having been brought back into the boardroom.
Yeah.
So. That's something to be proud of in its own way, isn't it?
It's a pride. I'll take that. That's good.
Okay. Well, listen, if you want to know how to get fired in this show in 3 easy steps, here's your guide.
Now, Robert, whilst I don't wish to choose the project manager from your team, you might wish to consider it.
I think I'm not sure if I'm the right person for this.
Robert, you're fired.
So, Karen, how much of a hint does he have to drop, really? That was fairly obvious, isn't it?
Well, I think as Nick said in the show, if you ignore Lord Sugar, you ignore him at your peril, and you ended up with a pretty quick exit, Robert. We were all shocked. If you wait for the ideal task that fits all your particular skills, you'll be waiting forever. So you should have really had a go, don't you think?
Yeah, I think in a way, yes, it's fashion, but I think Solomon kind of said the same point with technology. Technology is a very wide field.
He didn't ask Solomon to be the project manager. That's the
didn't.
difference.
But no, I think there was a part of me as well that because of the first episode, the fact I was in the final boardroom, and I was, very close to kind of going then, I think a part of me just wanted to kind of hide back a little bit. And that's, I'm wearing a grey suit in the second outfit. I kind of want to just be a bit kind of hidden.
Yeah, that's not really your look, is it, to wear the grey suit? May I bring up a question? Would you put one of your feet out on the table? Are you wearing socks? Have you decided to wear socks? No, on the table so the cameras can see it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, it's a sockless look is a brave one, I claim it, but slightly unsettling to people sometimes.
Yeah, I think some people are offended by my lack of sock, but I don't think
that's not the issue I've got with your outfit.
Thanks.
I suppose the issue is more that, you know, if the idea is to build a partnership with Lord Youre, that as a partner, if he went, Robert, as my business partner, is there any chance you could do X, Y, and Z? And then the minute he leaves, you go, I don't really fancy doing that. Can we knock that on the head for the day? That'd be great if we could do that. Do you think he dug his own grave there, Daniel?
Definitely. It's really important that you are much more versatile than what you think your narrow focus is. And I must say that you've had an opportunity to shine or to extend yourself. And unfortunately, you chose to lay low.
Yeah, I think with fashion, wearable technology is, well, it is what it is, wearable technology. I think it's just wearable technology. Wow,
wearable is wearable technology. No one is going to contradict you on that. Absolutely right. Wearable technology is wearable technology. I've said it for years. Eggs is eggs, man. Eggs is eggs. Yeah.
If you look at wearable technology now, it's you know, can it be crossed over with fashion? I think it's a really
interesting challenge that you should have taken on.
Do you know what wearable technology has taken off? Socks. Just a little tip.
They're very good. They're very good. Their technology is they absorb sweat and stop people smelling your feet. That is the fabulous technology of socks. They, you know, I think when they launch them, it's really going to take off.
Some really nice socks. I do actually like socks.
I have no doubt that you're fantastic. I say you don't have a plain black sock in your cupboard. I say you have incredible socks.
I do have a few. But,
we all got to go to funerals. That's essentially what you're saying. You got to have a black sock in there somewhere. You were very specific, very, very specific actually about what you wanted to sell. It was unlikely really that anything we could do for you here was going to live up to your criteria.
If the price point was £5,000 and if we were pitching to a shop in Mount Street, Mayfair, then I probably would have been a little bit more exciting. I want to go into super luxury fashion, luxury, super high fashion, extremely luxury, high fashion retail. My idea was to sell gourmet hot dogs. Gourmet hot dogs at Shoreditch. You can ride a canoe, but can you ride a £250,000 luxury yacht in the south of France? You can.
The thing is, you mentioned the previous task, Shoreditch, quite a few times. And it's a potentially interesting target group to be creating a wearable piece for. So the fact that you already knew that market and you were bringing that up early on actually shows you have a potential direction to be following there. And you really should have been looking for the things that you were, the boxes that were being checked in terms of you being a project manager, rather than looking for the things that weren't being checked.
And in hindsight, obviously, I would 100% make sure I'm not leaving that meeting without being PM. Absolutely. So it's a mistake, definitely. And I have learned from it. And I've learned to, you know, something might not particularly suit me or I might not enjoy it, but grab it by the balls and do it.
Last night we saw you adding value to hot dogs in particular with this Shoreditch hipster tendency that you may have. But you're talking about luxury goods. It was a hot dog and you kind of went for it and you sold.
Yeah, I think looking at that, I saw the task as I have to add value here. I can't just go with what we've got and sell it.
But Robert, heating it up and putting it in a bun, you added value. I mean, I was with you in that shopping trip. I was so frustrated. Hours were spent choosing the right cheese, working out whether you should make the guacamole or buy the guacamole, and actually they were disgusting. Yeah. I mean, they were absolutely disgusting.
They didn't look great.
I
didn't actually try one.
They looked horrendous.
Oh, who puts guacamole on a hot dog? At what point do you just
I
wait?
love guacamole on a hot dog.
Is this fusion cuisine? We're doing
No, I saw the task as you need to add something else to this to make it great. So if it's a T-shirt, adding a logo. If it was coffee, adding some kind of syrup.
And
if it was hot
dog,
dogs,
add a bun.
But I have the buns already, so I thought it needed to be something else.
But the same can be said for this task. You have a shirt, add some technology, value added.
Yes, of course.
If you ran scared from being project manager, if that could be said about you, the winning team, like individually, all of them made an art form of not taking the job.
Who feels that they've got the right expertise to be project manager in this task?
This is a fashion-based task.
Youre, don't you have a...
I do Asian boutique, but that's totally different.
More fashion, kind of trendy stuff?
I don't do... You can lead us in a direction of a strategy with the knowledge within that market.
I personally feel you're the strongest person.
Does anyone else want to be project manager?
Isn't your business idea involving fashion? Well, the business idea is hosiery and tights, so I wouldn't say it was fashion.
What I'm detecting are some bottlers. I am disappointed. There's been a lot of ducking going on here.
Are they the most cowardly bunch we've seen for a while?
Well, I got to say, it's pretty shocking. When I was sitting there watching them, as poor Nuran was sort of shoehorned into this,
yeah.
you know, a woman who has a market store, sells scarves, and she clearly runs a very good, successful small business. But to leapfrog that into wearable technology was a step too far, and she really had no choice but to take it. But having took it, she really should have then managed her team much better.
Do you think when you've accepted it in that way as well, you've already undermined your authority? Because you've already shown that you're weak by kind of being bullied into
Well, I
becoming
think
project
if
manager.
you see her face when she realises actually she's the project manager and she's sort of, you know, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
And I think you're probably right.
But you can own that, you know.
She should have said, right, I'm going to do it, this is how I'm going to do it, this is what we're going to do. And in the end, I think her weakness in terms of her management was why the product, the end product, was such a mishmash of various different things. You know, let's grab everyone's ideas, try and keep everyone happy, put them all into one jacket, and in the end, you had no more than a dog's dinner.
Yes, this is the jacket. This is the little smart jacket that we have here. It's not the most beautiful item, probably because of the massive solar panels that they have.
You know, if they were going to use the solar panels appropriately, perhaps they would have made it into a design feature, not a mistake, as it seems.
Well, they're sort of, I know it's only a prototype, but they do look like what they are, which is just mass gaffer taped on.
I think there may be some thread in there. But we've got solar panels.
Yes.
In London. Not always a lot of sun in London.
No.
You don't necessarily have to have sun for solar, though, to be fair. Just good light.
This tiny charger here for your mobile phone, this little USB charger here.
I think it makes sense. There's some backpack products that have solar panels built into them with a charger for your mobile or whatever music playing device. They're really effective and a great use of the technologies. The same thing could be done with a wearable piece of clothing, but that
is this a wearable piece of clothing? It's really front and centre, putting these solar panels front and centre, like, where is it?
I mean, it's just not very attractive piece of clothing. I think it was interesting when they were thinking about the collar that lights up, they were talking amongst themselves and said, oh yeah, it will really attract men. And it was like, what?
That's we're like bots.
Yeah, and if you could fan your feathers more, we like that too, you know, and that little dance that you do in the clearing, we'll cover miles around. And that high-pitched tone that women often, ooh, I find that very interesting. What do they think we are?
I have no idea.
Yeah, as the fashion man, by the way, how did that strike you? When you walked into the boardroom and saw that?
I thought we'd won when I saw that.
Have you been disappointed by this women's team? I mean, they've won twice in a row, but...
Well, only because the boys are so bad.
Yeah.
No, and that's not true. But actually, I have to say that there's been a clear lack of strategy, management, ideas. It's such a big prize now, £250,000, business partnership with Alan as your mentor. The previous winners have done very well, so everybody wants to win, but they've got to be able to manage and strategise and get their ideas out there, and just creeping past the line with a couple of orders is not good enough.
We mentioned Lord Sugar there. He did have some comments to make. You may need to brace yourselves for this. You should hear from Lord Sugar and your erstwhile colleagues.
This particular task was right up Robert's alley. In fashion, his chosen field. What annoyed me was he felt the task was beneath him, that the category of product I asked him to produce was not in his league. He was going to deal in higher quality products.
Robert didn't want to put himself in a position where his decisions could cost him his position in the process. His excuse was, I only deal with high-end fashion. Surely fashion's fashion.
Throughout this task, he's been a bit of a backseat driver. It's almost like Scott's the puppet, Robert's the puppet master.
I made it quite clear to Robert that I wanted him to grab the project manager role. He ducked it, and I got no time for people like that. And that's why Robert had to go very quickly.
What's your reaction to that?
I think some of that's fair. So Mark and Lord Sugar saying, you know, he does want to duck out and let someone else take it. As I've already said, I think that is part of it, and I do admit to that.
Daniel, do you think Lord Sugar was right to fire Robert?
Circumstances, yes, I think so. I'm sorry to say, I really think you had a lot more to offer in this particular task, and I was very sad to see you didn't do that.
Okay. Karen?
I wish you'd given it a go, but Alan was absolutely right, Robert.
Josh?
No, I thought you'd... Yeah, of course. Of course you had to go.
We'll throw it over to yourselves. Hold it red for fired or green for hired. Ooh.
That hurts.
Yeah. Although your friends are really clearly just there. Very good. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Listen, it's been a pleasure to have you on it, by the way. In the few shows that we've had you on, you have lit the place up. As you know, we always like to give a gift to those who pass through here. And we wanted something that spoke luxury and spoke high-end, but also spoke of fashion and your own creativity. And so we thought the perfect thing would be, it's a wearable item. It's a hat shaped like a hot dog. Actually, look at that. That's guacamole. So it's quite cool. Yes, yeah,
It's great.
It's very wear. I honestly, you look nervous about wearing it. We really did want to see you wear it. Robert, you have been dispatched in the second week, but you've made your mark. Here are your highlights.
They seek him here.
People look at me.
They seek him there.
6'7".
His clothes are loud.
Wearing stupid coloured clothes.
But never swell.
I couldn't give a shit. It's dog eats dog. Gourmet hot dogs that were exciting, creative, and very Shoreditch.
Robert's dress sense is totally wild.
Does it look small?
Robert can only get away with what Robert wears.
We needed an edgy product. It is going to be a sweatshirt. You say Italian? Great. Let me finish. My absolute worst nightmare is getting to age 40 with a 50 grand salary and a 4-year-old Toyota. It's just not going to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Goodwin. Well, after that dramatic firing, you'd have thought Lord Sugar was done, but no, he had another candidate in his sights.
There's no good just taking the job as a project manager and then afterwards sulking when nobody agrees with your idea and then washing your hands of it. And for that reason, Scott, you're fired.
Thank you, Lord Sugar.
Please welcome Scott McCulloch. Scott, how are you? How are you feeling?
Feeling quite good.
Okay, Grant, over the shock and disappointment of it all. I mean, you took on the PM role that Robert refused to take on, and you got done for that.
Yeah, I put my neck on the line, Dara, and...
Do you think you shouldn't have taken it on? I mean, because essentially at the start, you took on the PM role because you said you'd recently been at a conference where this stuff got mentioned, right? And they went, well, you're clearly a world expert on this. And you couldn't dash to step forward anyway, everyone's stepping back. But do you think it was your field? Do you think it was enough?
I mean, it wasn't my field. I just think that I kind of made the mistake of kind of categorising wearable technology as all one bucket. Little did I know that there's many different things involved in there, different industries and things like that. So
yes, and your product probably deserved to be in a bucket. That is the one thing I would say. We'll get to it in a second. Let's take a look at where the lights went out for you in this task.
Scott, the minute one of your ideas was rejected, you got the hump.
You guys have decided to change it. You went against what I said. I'm putting this back on you guys. Right, it's done.
He's not making any decisions because he doesn't want to be accountable for anything if it doesn't succeed.
Making sure he's covering his tracks.
Let me finish, let me finish.
Rob's speaking, guys. I'll let Rob talk you through the sketch.
You just need to make it work, guys.
It passes the buck as if it's a grenade.
Cheers, mate.
You took the project manager's position, and that may be a serious error. Hopefully I don't want to hear from you now.
Daniel?
I think what was interesting is you had an opportunity to try and see what your strengths were within that task and see where the sort of your lack of strength was and who was going to fill those gaps.
Yeah.
And I don't think you jumped into that in the way that you perhaps could have.
I mean, there are a lot of voices shouting at that kind of meeting, and certainly at this point, at this early stage where there's so many people talking, but you have a way of speaking in that situation which had an element of the out-of-his-depth supply teacher about the way you address people.
Guys. Wait. Whoa. Listen. Sorry.
We can actually have a look at the emoji shirt. There it is. Well, I know. It's sexy, isn't it? I'll just make it even more. So that's the shirt. The shirt was quite a plain one. It's not a particularly attractive.
I would say it's quite attractive.
Quite attractive, great shirt. And then the camera, which is a contentious part. The camera, which is conveniently at cleavage height. Which is a very good thing in a privacy's history.
Definitely the creepiest thing that's ever been made on The Apprentice, isn't it?
It is, actually, yeah.
It's really sinister. And you kind of feel it's grey so you can blend into the background when you're filming people.
It does feel like a bit of a stalker's charter, all right.
The interesting thing is there's actually a number of products out there that it's a growing but still niche market around recording everything you do.
Yes.
And this kind of speaks to that market, but again, it's super niche. It's not really the mainstream that you guys were hoping to be selling to.
Right. Our pitch here was really just to kind of capture the moment, so we weren't aiming it for, I mean, you've seen some of the sales pitches they were going on about kind of wearing it to nightclubs and things like that. That wasn't the idea behind the product at all. It was more for people that were kind of doing sports and capturing what they were doing and things like that as well.
So, when you're playing sport in a big grey jumper...
What really got me is the debate, the nightclub issue was the fact that, oh, well, this might be a privacy issue in a nightclub, rather than who would wear this to a nightclub. I'm going to Johnson. Yeah, they got it pretty good in my on-air grey jumper. It does have, yes, you know, you could be going into...
I can film all the girls telling me to leave them alone.
Yeah. If you have the camera, it's your hideous jumper. That wasn't the only problem, of course. We moved to Daniel, the self-proclaimed super salesman, and you could literally write a book on his mistakes on this task.
It's got a touch of Christmas jumper about it.
Very good point. It does look a bit Christmassy.
Is that a good idea for people to be, staring directly at your chest if you're a girl?
A very good point. You're absolutely right with that. I wouldn't personally go out on it. You wouldn't go in a public place with it. This is more to... you wouldn't go out on that. I'm a selling machine. The pitch went absolutely outstanding.
Right,
so.
okay. You made fundamental errors.
It's quite the journey for Daniel, because last night he said, there's 4 words now, sell, 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 sell. And then this night he was 4 words, it's a very good point. Yeah. And he had gone completely full circle on the whole thing. This is like a textbook of how not to sell something.
I think it's really interesting, actually, what you learn when you come on this show, because I think Daniel is a good salesman in a particular environment. Going to a corporate pitch with a product that you don't really know quite how it works and trying to sell that, not being ready and not being used to that environment, exposed some of his weaknesses. I think if he was taking those in a different environment and selling them to the public, he would have had a much, easier job for him and his style. But corporate pitches are very different. You need a different style, you need a different technique, and you need a different way of communicating.
The thing was, I agreed with everything Daniel said, because it did look like Christmas lights. You'd never wear it out of the house. Basically, his idea was that you'd walk around your house filming yourself.
At Christmas.
Yeah, at Christmas.
Only the Christmas.
You open it, you get the present, put it on, and then just film the rest of Christmas.
Yes. That'd be fantastic. It'd be a lovely document that you'd always sit around as a family and watch.
Yeah, it's very weird. You're never going to watch those videos. It's so creepy. The only time you'd watch those videos is if they're being used as evidence.
At some point on Daniel's hard drive, they go, we found these, oh no, not the ones from The Apprentice, not from that nightclub journey in my sweatshirt.
When I was walking on my side.
Yes, you were crab-like walking across. That's the worst type of pervert. Approaching women at a 90-degree angle. So they don't work so well. You still put him in for the next pitch after that?
Yeah.
What, do you think he's going to come good after?
He'd learnt his lessons.
Practice makes perfect. Right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, with Daniel and I, we actually had quite a good relationship, and I think he's a very motivated sales guy. I took charge of the next sale, which I actually only kind of delegated a certain part of the sale to him. So actually, in the second pitch, Daniel said very little, and he wasn't as much involved in the second pitch as what he was in the first one, which he was actually leading. So that's actually why I brought him back on board.
Fantastic. Scott, let's see what Lord Sugar and your former teammates had to say about you.
Now, Scott works in business development on a global scale, and he wanted to prove himself to me. Now, I would have expected him to lead his team confidently, but at the first sign of them not backing him, he kind of gave up and passed the buck and tried to let other people get on with it.
Scott's able to make decisions, albeit poor decisions. Taking the wrong people to the pitch. I didn't think he managed things particularly well and actually had a clear structure or delegation of who needs to do what.
Scott didn't select a sub-team leader, and in my opinion, that was a mistake. We had no direction.
There is no way he showed me any entrepreneurial spirit at all, and that is the reason why Scott had to go.
You didn't get to show any entrepreneurial spirit. Is that bad news to hear for this process?
I mean, Lord Sugar made a comment in the first task about kind of me kind of hiding away from the scenes and things.
Yeah, I mean, your selling wasn't amazing in the first one.
Yeah, so I mean, I wanted to really kind of jump in 2 feet forward and really kind of make myself kind of known to Lord Sugar as well. Again, at this stage, there's so many people in it, so I just wanted to make sure that I was heard at that point.
Scott, you gave your all on this task, and I mean, you put bits of yourself out there that had no business being out there.
No one else had the balls to put themselves even forward. Put myself on the line, put my balls on the line here. That's why I put my balls on the line here, Lord Sugar. My balls on the line, basically.
You can only hope that you continue to put everything on the line as it goes on. But we do have a vote to do. Daniel, given the choice that was in front of Lord Sugar, was he right to fire Scott?
Very sorry to say yes, Scott.
Karen?
100% agree with Alan. I didn't see much of you in the first task. I didn't think you managed the team well enough, but well done for at least putting yourself forward.
No. I was going to go against. I thought that presentation was so bad where he said you wouldn't wear it out the house.
That Daniel should have gone?
Daniel should have gone.
OK, we'll throw it to the rest of you. As ever, red for fired, green for hired.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
Yes, it's definitely fired there, so my commiserations on that one. Daniel lives to fight another day. We always give a gift, as ever. We thought the one thing we didn't really mention here is that you modelled the jersey very well. You modelled that sweatshirt quite beautifully. By the way, we had to try to get somebody into shot by lowering yourself into to do it. We thought you did a lovely job, and we'd like to have a memento of that. We've made a poster of you actually modelling the jersey at the moment, and it's a very, because look, lights up. Thank you. So congratulations on being one of this year's candidates. Here are your highlights.
In business, I relate myself to Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, make a ton of money. On the flip side, I relate myself to Gandhi, where I aim to improve the well-being of humanity.
Dan's shouting at me, James is shouting at me, you're shouting at me, you're shouting at me. What do you want me to do?
Scott was quite aggressive, but he's a good boy. All right, lads, bring it on. Scott is some man.
Go in there and smash it.
He's very fun-loving.
Anyone see Scott?
He's a really cheeky chappy.
Hey, how's it going? May I interest you? Guys.
Scott from Scotland. He's given the Scottish guys a very good name.
Can't tempt you?
Ladies and gentlemen, Scott McCullough. And that's it for tonight. Thanks to all of my guests. If you want more, go to our website at bbc.co.uk/apprentice, where there are exclusive clips, including Matt Evanson's Meet the Candidates. You can also keep up with the latest news on Twitter, Facebook and Vine. Next week, the candidates have to wax lyrical about luxury candles, but who'll end up having a meltdown?
This place is full of sharks.
Can you tell us that to be quiet, because it makes no sense?
What are you doing? You're drowning.
It's a very small margin.
You're already speaking rubbish, mate.
Shoot for a tenner.
Just shut up at the moment. Definitely. You can't shut up now.
I'll buy that.
It's not been great in terms of sales.
Panic. Get your brain around this one. I think you're taking up someone's space, to be honest with you.
We'll be back next Wednesday at 10 p.m. We'll see you then. Good night.
So the Candle Meltdown next Wednesday night at 9 on BBC One, with You're Fired here on BBC Two at 10. For more on this year's candidates, press red now. On the way next, it's Newsnight.